Welcome back to Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, and in today's video, we're going to talk about rapid news, of course, give you a little bit of everything's happening in the world of Nintendo, which there isn't much, and then we'll go into today's top story, June. Let's see what Nintendo has in store for June. Let's talk about June. Will there be a Nintendo Direct? What does Nintendo have planned now that Tears of the Kingdom is only days away and only one game more left this year? Let's talk.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Mario, we on.
So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye and I have about 40% sight of my right eye. And it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do. But I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year. And I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here, we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional in-topic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. And I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, so first up in rapid fire news, we have the top 10 list for the UK. I think it was this past week, right? And of course, we got Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming in at number 1. They just released this game, so congratulations to them. We got Dead Island 2 at number 2. We got FIFA 23. We got the game responsible for Mario Kart 9 never coming out. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sitting there still at that spot. Hogwarts Legacy, then Super Mario Odyssey, followed by Minecraft, the Switch edition, by the way, Minecraft Legends, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and then Resident Evil 4 Remake. So those are the top, I think, 10 games in the UK, which is pretty cool. Let's move on to the next piece of news. We also got Patricia Summersett reprising her role as Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom. That is no surprise, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, she did a fantastic job in Breath of the Wild. Why not have this amazing, majestic human being back to reprise the best, I think, voice acting I've seen in a princess this far? I mean, I know there's maybe other best acting roles, but when it comes to a Nintendo IP, out there's no other voice actor that I think has done better than the voice actors of Princess Zelda. So congratulations once again to Patricia Summersett for reprising her role as Zelda. She deserves it, and I hope that we continue to hear her as Zelda for many more years to come. And other news, next up we got Square Enix says Final Fantasy Pixel Remake has now shifted over 2 million copies. Wow, that is crazy. That game was just released on Switch, and then 2 million copies now sold. That is fantastic for Square Enix. I hope they get inspired by this and start releasing more games on Switch, like maybe Final Fantasy VII Remake. Come on, you can do it. Come on. And last but not least, in rapid fire news, we got Splatoon 3 update version to 3.1.1. It has some patch notes, some fixes, some bugs, and other stuff. So go ahead and update to that right now. If you want to know more about what this update includes, visit my NintendoIsaacBg. This is where I get the source from, and then you'll get a list about all the stuff that's basically in that update. All right, now let's move on to today's top story. So before I get into today's top story, which has to do with June, right? With what Nintendo might have planned in June, we don't know until Nintendo says anything, but before I get into that, I want to address a few things that I know that maybe some people are coming from outside in, reading the title of this video, want to know about, right? They want to maybe have more clarification about. And the first clarification is, no, I'm not a leaker. I'm not a Nintendo leaker. I don't have what people call sources, like that I know personally or have a relationship with. I'm just a Nintendo YouTuber, a family-friendly channel with Nintendo news from the very beginning of when I started this channel in 2019 till now. I just been covering news, products, and reviews. You know, like just, I love products. I love Nintendo news, and that's what I've been doing on this channel. So first, I want to clarify the emails that I've received. I received a total of 3 emails. Okay, a while back, I can't even remember, Ben. The videos on the channel, I don't take anything down. The videos on the channel, it's about the Nintendo email, the Nintendo Direct email for the 12th, right? For the 12th of is it April 12th? Yes, April 12th. The Nintendo Direct email, I received that email. It looked like an actual setup through email. When I released that video, I stated, I received this email from a source. I'm going to read it to you. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is true, but I'll just read it. You know, not knowing, okay, that this email will blow up and it'll become the rumor of the century. Well, it became the rumor of the century. And I take full responsibility on that April 12th email direct email, okay? I received 2 additional emails from 2 additional sources, all right, talking to me about an event happening of the week of the 12th to the 14th. So that's a second video that you're gonna find right before the event of the gameplay happened. An event happening from the 12th to the 13th. That's how these 2 emails were kind of related, because they both mentioned the 12th, and it so happens that an announcement was made on the 12th, and of gameplay was made on the 13th, which kind of validated that second email. An event will take place from the 12th to the 14th. So basically, right in the middle is the 13th, right? From 12th to 14, smack in the middle is the 13th. So that second email was basically more validated by that. Who knows if the first email at the time that I received it had any credibility to it, and Nintendo just decided to change. Instead of doing a direct, they decided to change their marketing strategy and just do what they did, because we have to really think about outside the box. Nintendo, this marketing strategy for Nintendo and Tears of the Kingdom, we've never seen anything like this before, right? We've never seen something like this before happen when it comes to this type of marketing. It's been sporadic, it's been all over the place, and Nintendo just started marketing the game literally a month before, right? A month before April 12th, we got that announcement for the last trailer, and then later, you know, from that point on, that's when Nintendo started pushing on Tears of the Kingdom everywhere, right? So I can't really rule out whether the first email was bad or not. It didn't happen, so therefore it's in history now. The second email did happen. There was an event. Actually, there was literally an announcement on the 12th, and there was a trailer, the last trailer on the 13th. So I am not a leaker, and because of the drama that caused, you know, and I mean, crazy drama behind the scenes too. All the stress and anxiety that it cost me as a content creator, I will not cover any emails that I receive. And let me tell you, from that moment till today, I have gotten over 20 emails. I'm telling you, I have gotten over 20 emails with information about the rest of this year, about 2024. And guess what? I don't want that responsibility. I really don't want that responsibility. I don't want to talk about it when it comes to what's going to happen, or put out there a leak or speculate about that. I just don't want that responsibility, because first, I run a family-friendly channel. I run a family Nintendo channel that I want to keep that way. I understand that leaks and other things like that, they attract sometimes undesirables. What I mean undesirables is people who don't have a filter, people who could care less whether they hurt you with their words or not. And I don't want those type of people coming around this channel, because I want to keep my community safe, clean, and I want to make sure that the environment we have here is positive. I mean, I myself as an individual am a disabled person, you know, and I am legally blind. And you've heard it in my call to actions. I'm losing my sight. I am legally blind. I'm losing my sight, my visual. I can't already see through one eye. That eye is gone. My second eye is about 40 to 50%, sometimes 60%, you know, depending how much I let it rest. But I only operate under one eye that is also failing. I'm currently seeing doctors, but I have my own things going on, right, personally, and I really want to make YouTube my full-time career. You know, I can release a video a day, rest the rest of the day, instead of having to spend 8 to 10 hours on a Monday to a 9 to 5, you know, and that will kind of affect my eyesight less than having a 9 to 5. Just making a video a day, you know, maybe outsourcing the editing and continuing. There are blind YouTubers out there that inspire me to do this, and I believe that this could be my source of income, and this could be my career. Even if I go blind, guys, I know you won't go anywhere. I know you will support me. I know that even though if I change my content just a little bit because my site is no longer there, I know you guys will be there for me, and that's what keeps me going. And so I don't want to be considered a leaker. I want to be considered a person who's just doing his thing, loving Nintendo all the way through, sharing news, sharing fun, sharing inspirational stories and anecdotes and live streams. You guys know what I do on this channel. And that's basically what I want. I want to create a fun environment, a nice channel that's good for everyone in a family. Something you can put in the background and listen to with your kids and your entire family and not feel, you know, embarrassed about that they may have said a bad word or showed a bad image or said something out of line. I want a place to be safe for everyone. Everybody is welcome. And all I want is to share my love for gaming and our love for humanity, you know? So that's basically it. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to that. I hope that you guys understand. And I hope that for a lot of you, this has made it a little more clear about who I am as a person and what I want for this channel. No, I'm not a leaker. I'm just Mike Odyssey, a person who wants to inspire people and to bring people to a new generation of Nintendo goodness, right? And hopefully we get that soon. And that's what I want to say about that. Now, let's continue with the video, right? Let's talk about June. And disclaimer, I'm not going to say anything about those emails that I received. I'm not going to mention them. If you're a content creator, you want to know what those emails said, I'll tell behind the scenes. As long as you don't source me, I'll tell you, you know, and you do whatever you want with that information, but I'm not going to do it myself, okay? But let's talk about June. So it is May. We are at the recording of this video is May 2nd. Next month is already June. Okay. And then the next month is July. Wow, this year is really flying by, right? And while Nintendo is at the end of the line when it comes to the games that we know are out there that are scheduled to be released, and those games are Tears of the Kingdom, 10 days away from the recording of this video, and of course Pikmin 4 and July. Now there is nothing else for the rest of the year, and it's something that Nintendo has never done since the release of the Nintendo Switch. We have known at this point in time what games are coming out for the rest of the year. Like at this point in time, we already know we were expecting a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in November. We already knew, that we were expecting Bayonetta, all these Bayonetta 3, all these games that were scheduled for last year. We knew they were coming at this point in time, and this is the first time in Nintendo history Nintendo Switch history, let me specify that, Nintendo Switch history, that we are kind of there, right? We're unknown. We have no clue what's happening after that. Tears of the Kingdom is a game that is so big that has literally taken over people's minds and over people's like almost life, right? And has really blinded them to see what's ahead, because I know that everybody who is going to take Tears of the Kingdom, all they care about is that from now on, until the year ends, that's all they're going to play. That's all they're going to play. I've heard so many people say, you know what? After Tears of the Kingdom comes out, all I'm going to do is play Tears of the Kingdom until next year, until the Switch 2 comes out, you know? So I guess Nintendo kind of saw that coming, right? Tears of the Kingdom is that big of a game. But still, Nintendo wants to continue making money. Shareholders need to be, be kept happy when it comes to the financials. And I doubt, and this is, let's talk about this. Shareholders, okay? Nintendo shareholders are the main people Nintendo want to keep happy because they are the ones who pay for the bills. They pay for Nintendo's lights to stay on. Without the shareholders, Nintendo's lights will come down. The headquarter Kyoto will cease to exist, and of course, Nintendo America will also. Nobody will get paid because shareholders are the ones who actually pay. They own Nintendo stocks, right? These stocks, the money that is made for these stocks are used to pay for employees and stuff like that, and of course, the revenue that is generated via sales. Right, so therefore, Nintendo needs to have something. If you are on the bandwagon and says, "Oh, it's okay for Nintendo not to have everything this year," I think it's okay for Nintendo not to have more stuff this year. Maybe they're not going to release anything this year because the Switch 2 is coming out next year. Well, that's not going to hold up for stockholders, people who are invested in Nintendo. I mean, major shareholders. That's not gonna that argument right there is not gonna hold up for them because they're expecting Nintendo to have a big year every single year. We know that the Switch is dwindling down little by little, but shareholders are not gonna. I'm actually a shareholder for Nintendo, and I don't want to. I don't want to think about Nintendo not actually releasing something that will make my investment go down, because if we have a year like we have today and Nintendo does not release anything for the rest of the year, you know what happens to stocks? They go down in price. And then what happens to the money we invest? We lose money. So Nintendo needs to keep an eye out on their shareholders, and they need to keep them happy. That's why we have these fiscal meetings that really keep them updated so that they know what's happening, and they can kind of, ease up a little bit, and they can just be calm a little bit. But when it comes to June, this is speculation. This is nothing I've heard, okay? I believe there is going to be a Nintendo Direct. There will be maybe in the beginning of June, maybe at the end of June. I'm leaning towards more the beginning of June because there's still time in the year that we need to know what's going on. And whether we see a Switch 2 or not, I know we're going to see more Switch games. What games will there be? Me personally, I'm leaning more towards ports. I'm leaning more towards Metroid Prime 2, maybe the Metroid Prime 4, because that game was promised for the Nintendo Switch. And I believe that even though it's been delayed, it still was promised and announced for the Switch. Therefore, it could still be a dual release game, like it could be on this Nintendo Switch and then on the Switch 2. So Metroid Prime 4 is a year that I can see coming this year. I can see more remakes of The Legend of Zelda being announced for later this year. Maybe Oracle Seasons, Oracle Ages, right? This year, if we do not get a Switch 2 this year, then I see Nintendo finishing up with the year with a lot of ports. There are so many games out there. Kid Icarus, right? That could use a port. We haven't gotten a Donkey Kong game in a while. There's so many games out there that Nintendo can finish up the year with that will literally hold us back to 2022 until they have that next gen Nintendo Switch. But no, if there is no Nintendo Switch this year, Nintendo will not announce a Nintendo Switch this year. Let me tell you why. Because Nintendo's not going to jeopardize Switch sales this holiday season. No, I've heard so many content creators out there stating that, oh yeah, we might get an announcement this year for next year. No, that's never going to happen because there's something called the holiday season. It's one of the hottest seasons of sales for Nintendo when it comes to games and systems. And Nintendo will not jeopardize that by announcing something this year, and then people say, you know what, I'm not gonna buy the Switch, I'm gonna wait for next year, therefore destroying all sales for this holiday season and literally creating that cliff that Nintendo does not want to fall off. That's why there will not, if there is no June announcement for a Switch for this holiday season, when it comes to the next generation Switch, or even in July, or even in August, okay, if there is no announcement this year for a Switch this year, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen next year. Nintendo will probably announce it around March and then release it in the summer, or release it, in the summer and at E3 if it still exists, or Summer Game Fest, or an event. But this year, when it comes to this year, Nintendo will not announce a Nintendo Switch 2 in order to say, oh yeah, it's coming out next year. That will never happen. That's just financial suicide, and I'm pretty sure that all of the shareholders will see that coming. They will abandon ship and sell all their shares before they go down and plummet. It'll create a disaster. And I'm talking to you in a finances point of view that will actually influence the gaming point of view. So there are two options for Nintendo to take the rest of the year. There is the Nintendo June Direct that will announce the rest of the year, okay, with Nintendo ports, okay, ports and remakes, and I think that could seem more viable. That's more believable. And then there's the other side of the coin where Nintendo will announce the next gen console for this year. Yes, for this year, to release around October, November, maybe, around that time, and falling in line with the holiday season. And that's what I believe could happen, right? I'm leaning more towards the ports, right, than the Switch 2, although I cover a lot of Switch 2 news here on the channel. I because I'm for the Nintendo Switch 2 coming this year. I want it to come this year personally. I do want to see a next-gen console this year. We are now in the seventh year. It's been now for 6 years, but we are now on the 7th year, towards the 7th year of the Switch console, and it's starting to show its age. And I hope that Nintendo is thinking about that. We know that there will be within this year and next year a next-gen Switch, and it just so happens when Nintendo will announce this. Again, if Nintendo does not announce a console this year, like if they do announce a console, it's gonna be for this year. Then they will not announce a console this year for next year. They're not gonna make that mistake when it comes to the holiday season sales. And if they don't announce a Switch this year, it's all ports coming, maybe 1 or 2 new games. And the next year, we'll see maybe a very good announcement, even in February to March, for a summer release. But that's basically what I feel Nintendo's future might look like. Those are two paths that I see that Nintendo could take that are very viable, that are very kind of believable when it comes to these two. These are all my speculations, guys. This is nothing that I've heard. This is what I believe. According to my studies of looking at the market, I am a stockholder. I've worked in I'm a stockholder. I've invested in the stocks for a long time. I watch the stock market a lot, and I make investments according to how I see it. So, speaking as a stockholder, I own stocks. I own stocks for Apple. I own stocks for Google. I own stocks for major companies. So, speaking as a stockholder, I don't see Nintendo doing an announcement this year. But next year, if they make it this year, it's going to be for this year. If it's next year, it's for next year. So, that's what I see Nintendo doing in the month of June. Hopefully a Nintendo Direct. Who knows what's going to happen? I know there has to be an announcement in June. There is nothing in June. Like, there's no games announced or released in June. And so there has to be something announced in June to fill out the rest of the year. Pikmin 4 is coming in July, and I doubt Nintendo's going to do anything in July and just completely skip June. There might be a showcase, a Nintendo showcase for third-party developers. We did have an indie direct, but Nintendo also has a showcase, a direct showcase, which basically highlights the bigger companies like Sega, Square, Enix, and other like that. So maybe we could have a showcase that could actually, push Nintendo forward when it comes to game releases. Let me know, guys. This is already a really long video, but let me know, guys, what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you find value in my words? Do you find value? And do you see Nintendo doing a direct this June, and then filling up the rest of the calendar year? Do you think Nintendo will announce a Switch 2 for this year, for this holiday season, or do you think Nintendo will announce it next year in the spring for a summer release? Let me know down below in the comments. We can continue this conversation down below. But before I let you go, I have 2 important things I need to let you know. Number 1, never give up. And number 2, journey on. Peace.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without